look at just how loose he is, just winding up that hand, so to speak, or leaving it out there for people to see. Miguel Cotto would do this when he was in rhythm. Boom, doubles up, triples up, quadruple on the left side. We've been waiting for Jaron Boots Ennis to prove that he is far and away not only the best welterweight in the world, but a future star. We got that performance on Saturday night. He dismantled Eimantas Stanionis in what was a fantastic finish. I felt like the stoppage was at an interesting point, given that it felt like Jaron Boots Ennis was just heating up. But he drops Eimantas Stanionis in round 6, unifies the IBF and WBA welterweight titles when the corner of Stanionis just says enough. Boots Ennis gets a performance that people were waiting for the most part. And he is head and shoulders better than everyone else at 147. It's not even close. So just to give you an idea of what kind of rhythm we saw from Boots Ennis in this fight against Stanionis, a fight that I thought was going to be closer, by the way. But the layoff, along with just Boots managing his range better, managing the distance better than he did against Kara Chukadazan in his last fight, where he was getting tagged too much in the pocket. And he did a little bit in this fight too, but Stanionis looked like he couldn't really get going. And when he started to in round 3, Boots shut that down in rounds 4, 5, and 6. So here we go in round 2. So we can slow this down, as a matter of fact. Okay, cool. So here we go. Stanionis in the pocket, gets that right hand. Boots Ennis steps up. Now we're inside. Stanionis right hand. That right hand gets blocked. Look at this. So Boots catches that. Left hook. Ducks underneath. And he's setting up this counter left uppercut. Doesn't really fully commit there. Stanionis just evades it one more time. Let's look at this left uppercut. Now keep that in mind, because shortly thereafter, Boots Ennis is going to go right back to it. And this was a fun strategy, fun chess match we saw playing out in round 2 a little bit as they were feeling each other out. So there's a left hook. Boom. There's the uppercut. That one lands with a little bit more force, a little bit more commitment from Boots Ennis. This is nice right here. Bang. Lands that one right to that chin area. Stanionis nods his head, acknowledges it, and Boots Ennis continues to go to work there. We're keeping it in slow motion just because it's easier for y'all to see, myself as well. Boots did a really good job in this fight of just sort of managing the range. It wasn't like he was making the same mistakes repeatedly as he did in the Karen Chukadazan fight, where he was hanging out too much in range, and then Karen Chukadazan he would land a looping left hook, he would land a straight right hand, he would land, several jabs. Boots wasn't as careless in this fight. He was more so in rhythm, locked in on his P's and Q's, so to speak. To throw out another cliche. And he ultimately, did what he had to do to put this fight home. So here we go. We're going to go to this clip right here, because this is actually in round 5. We'll look at it fast first. Okay, so round 5. This is also from Ring of Highlights. Salute to them. The Zone actually posted it. This is round 5. In the last minute, see what happens here. So we got an uppercut. We got a lot going on there. Just overall, Boots Ennis going to work. This is when you really started to see him breaking down Eimantas Stanionis, the blood on Eimantas Stanionis' nose, crowd standing up at Boardwalk Hall. Beautiful head-body combination there. Like, the punch placement was really good, but also just the versatility and the punch selection here was really breaking down Stanionis, who hasn't been touched up like this before in his career. Remember, he was undefeated coming into this fight. And there you go. The nice defense here. Stanionis acknowledging him again. Just looks at that left hook going by. Stanionis acknowledges it, nods his head, kind of smiles there. All right, we're going to play all this in slow motion again to sort of break this down properly. Maybe we'll go half speed this time. I'm not sure we need to go 25. Yeah, this is good. Okay. Boots, boom, left uppercut, boom, left hook. 5-punch combination there. Doesn't absolutely rock Stanionis' world, so to speak, but enough to keep him off. And he's going to pour it on some more here. Measures. He's in close enough now. That left uppercut, his uppercut was on point, absolutely on point in this fight. If you watched it on the Zone, Stanionis is always going to come forward, but here Boots is applying the pressure, measuring him some more, a couple more uppercuts there. Boom, head body combination. These body shots. So I was watching the fight and I was saying, Eimantas Stanionis, like, if you're going to try to break a guy down who has a 6-inch reach advantage, who has a height advantage, all these physical attributes, and is jabbing and moving around the ring, which Boots was doing a good job of in the first couple of rounds, just jabbing, using his range, moving around the ring, defending responsibly for the most part. Like, if you're going to make that fighter uncomfortable, you have to bang him to the body. You have to be able to hit him in the liver with some of these, hooks, uppercuts, jabs to the body as well to set up shots to the head. But Eimantas Stanionis was having a hard time sort of getting that offense into gear. And he was trying to land that jab to establish some things. He wasn't doing it. I thought he should have went to the body more, but easier said than done. And it was Boots who was actually going to the body more. You see it here. Here's the head body combination again. Boom, doubles up on the right side there, switching stances as well. He was just in a flow state like a champion would be in a fight like this. Again, inside, outside, just right hook here. Watch this. Right hook, boom, gets out of the way. Like, just understanding his range, understanding the distance. He was absolutely on point. You could see it here, just like dropping his hands, super comfortable. Crowd on his side too, obviously, because this is close to home. Jersey, very, very close to Philly. Atlantic City, very, very close to Philly in particular. And there's just missing the left hook one more time. Stanionis sort of smiling there. Dude is a gamer. I think he'll be back, by the way. Like, I don't think this is going to be his last championship fight. I don't think that's going to be the case. He needs to be more active, though. The last time he fought was a year prior to this, and he's only fought twice in 3 years. And I think that really showed in this fight as well. So Stanionis, with a little bit more shape, probably makes us more competitive. Definitely makes us more competitive, I think. But he needs to be more active if he's going to be a champion again. So hopefully he is more active. And I think if that's the case, we could see him in a welterweight title fight again at some point. Okay, so now the stoppage. We will slow this down one more time. Not one more time. This is the first time we're watching it. Okay, so head body again, uppercut, and then just a left hook right on the belt line, right hook, left hook to the body. Was really, really making it a point to attack him, break him down there. And look at that. Just sort of look at just how loose he is, just winding up that hand, so to speak, or leaving it out there for people to see. Miguel Cotto would do this when he was in rhythm. Boom, doubles up, triples up, quadruple on the left side. As he felt Stanionis going down. Look at this one more time. Boom, boom, all these left uppercuts. And at full speed, like at just regular speed, rather, you could see how quick this was. Good luck getting out of the way of that. Boots Ennis, just absolute, just power, strength, athleticism, speed. And we don't need to see the count necessarily in slow motion, but one more time here. Leaves it out there, calls for the crowd, so to speak, to get louder. Quadruple, 4 straight punches coming from the left side. Stanionis didn't have anything at this point. Goes back to the corner. The corner stops it. I think that was just a wise move. Your fighter, it looked potentially promising in the beginning, where like, all right, maybe there's some things to work off here. He found some success in round 3, but I don't think he won a round in this fight. I think Boots just really broke him down in 4, 5, 6, really kicked it into another gear. And ultimately, we got what we got. That was the finish. So Jaron Boots Ennis is the best welterweight in the world. What's next for him is going to be a big topic of discussion here. Okay, so here we have the welterweight rankings. We have Jaron Boots Ennis. Here at WBA, this is going to be Boots Ennis now that he's the champion. But obviously, this is not going to update the night of the fight. They got to give the sanctioning bodies time to do some work here. But if you're looking at this, so we have Shakram Giyasov. He won by knockout in his fight on the undercard. So he's looking to potentially be a #1 contender here. And maybe Boots Ennis just fights him next. That's an option here. Lewis Crocker versus Patty Donovan. They had a fight. They're supposed to fight again. And that's going to determine who's going to be the #1 contender here. That's an eliminator for the IBF Welterweight Championship. Neither of those fights probably excite a lot of people, but that's sort of just the options that we're looking at here. The more fun ones, Devin Haney, you see him here, #1 contender for the WBC. He's going to face Jose Ramirez at a welterweight fight in that loony ass Times Square card that we're going to see at the top of May. Devin Haney, if he wins this fight, presumably is number one contender for Mario Barrios' WBC championship. So we'll see how that unfolds there. And then here in WBA, Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, 2 and 3, despite having never fought at welterweight, are contenders ranked here. They're going to be fighting at welterweight on May 2nd. The winner presumably is going to be one of the top contenders for Boots Ennis's WBA championship. So you have options here. You have Giasov, you have the Crocker Donovan winner potentially. There's Rolly Romero or Ryan Garcia, the winner of that. We'll see what happens with Devin Haney. If you want a third Karen Chukadazan fight, he's here as well. So maybe it's a Giasov or a Crocker Donovan, because I do feel like Boots Ennis, if it's me and I'm advising Boots, if you're watching this, Boots, one, congratulations, but two, I don't think you are. Regardless, WBC, that's the title I would go for next. He would beat the hell out of Mario Barrios, I think, in a fight. Brian Norman Jr. is the one people I think would want the most. I do think if Teofimo Lopez wins against Arnold Barbosa Jr., which is not a gimme at all, but I do think if he wins that fight, we could be talking about Teofimo Lopez potentially against Brian Norman Jr. at welterweight, because Teofimo Lopez could just move up and get that shot from the WBO. And honestly, if you look at this class of contenders, Teofimo Lopez is much more interesting of an opponent than anyone here for the WBO. Boots Ennis versus Brian Norman Jr. would be like the best fight to make in this weight class. Realistically, is that the fight we're going to see next? I mean, I don't know. Are Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn going to get their heads together to make that fight? If they want to compete with what TKO has coming down the pipe, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That would make a ton of sense. But I don't foresee that happening next. I would love for that fight. Like, if you give me a Boots Ennis fight that should be next, that's the one. It's Brian Norman Jr. Unify the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO. If I'm him, you can get that WBC. You can beat Mario Barrios. No disrespect to Mario Barrios, but Boots Ennis also is too big for him in that fight as well. Was too big for even Eimantas Stanionis, as we saw. And then obviously, you got some names like Devin Haney and Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, so on and so forth in this weight class. But I think if Boots Ennis is going to fight somebody next at the top level, yeah, it'd be one of the other champions. Otherwise, you'd be looking at, like Eddie Hearn just mentioned after the fight, hey, we want to get him back in Philly as well. And he thinks Boots Ennis is like a pound for pound talent, best in the world, yada, yada, yada. I think he's definitely a pound for pound talent, but he's not a pound for pound top 10 guy yet. Needs more of a resume. And I do think he's easily the best welterweight in the world. It's not even close right now. None of the champions have super impressive resumes, so we want to see Boots Ennis in bigger fights, but he did what he had to do in this fight. And I think next, maybe it's a fight in Philly against the Crocker Donovan winner or the Giasov number one contender spot. But obviously, I think many of you would be much more intrigued by Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Brian Norman Jr. But we know, like, that's not always how these things go. But hopefully for once, it does. Like, we should start getting some of the big fights, especially in this welterweight weight class, where I think it's as thin as welterweight has been in my lifetime. The champions just aren't super awesome right now, and we want to see Boots get challenged because Boots is a pound for pound talent. He's just not a pound for pound guy yet because of resume, but he's on his way, and he did what he had to do in this particular fight against Eimantas Stanionis. So see what happens next. That's all for now. We'll have more on the channel very, very soon. WNBA draft coming up, NBA playoffs coming up, more fights, Gabriela Fundora, Chris Eubank Jr., and obviously in May, there's Canelo Alvarez, there's Naoya Inoue, and obviously the Times Square card. A lot to get into on this channel moving forward. Maybe we'll do something on the NFL draft, who knows? But if there's anything you guys would want, let me know. As always, I do take advice, requests, whatever the case may be. This is a small channel that we're trying to build. So please continue to support, comment, all those different things. We'll talk again very soon. Thank you for watching.